So there's a whole lot of Pokedex entries that just casually drop some information about a Pokemon that lead to a whole bunch of questions about the Pokemon universe. I'm going to go through 5 of them today. You might have heard about them before, but I feel like I need to talk about them too. First one I want to talk about is Ghastly. Now the Fire Red entry for Ghastly says that he can topple an Indian elephant by enveloping the prey in 2 seconds. If that's true, Ghastlies have interacted with Indian elephants, and that means Indian elephants must exist in the Pokemon universe. And why would they be called Indian elephants if there wasn't also a place called India? But we have seen a planetary view of the Pokemon world, and it doesn't match up with the geography of Earth. But they somehow still have a place called India. Other countries are mentioned as well. Lieutenant Surge is meant to be from America. So how do these countries exist if Pokemon isn't on Earth? Maybe people had to leave Earth, and when they got to the new planet, the one with Pokemon, they named the countries using some of the old names from their old planet. Or maybe it's just a mistake, I don't know. Next one I want to talk about is Kangaskhan. One of the Pokedex entries says that if you come across a baby Kangaskhan, you should not try to catch it because the mother might get mad. Now I talked a little bit about this in a whole video I made about Kangaskhan's, so that'll open in a new tab if you want to watch it. But I want to talk about it again differently. Does this mean you can catch a baby Kangaskhan without catching the mother? Now in the Pokedex entry, all it says is do not attempt to catch it. It doesn't say you can if you did attempt it, it just says don't attempt it. But it also doesn't go out of its way to say that you can't catch it. It really leaves it open to interpretation, and it's weird that they would even mention it. Why are people trying to catch it if it's common knowledge in the Pokemon world that you can't? Moving on to the next one, Mr. Mime. Now many of the Pokedex entries talk about the fact that Mr. Mime is such a good mime artist that it makes people and Pokemon believe there really are walls in front of them. But the black and white entries explain it more scientifically, where they say that he actually vibrates molecules and stops them in the air with his fingertips. What? That means he literally is making walls. That's not miming, that's molecular science. Molecular science! Next up, Steelix. Now here are the gold and silver entries for Steelix. The gold one says that its body's been compressed deep under the ground and that's how it gets so hard, and the silver one says that it only gets so hard because an Onix has to live for 100 years. But in the actual game, if you want to evolve your Onix into a Steelix, all you need to do is trade it while it's holding a steel coat. It's interesting that the Pokedex only talks about ways that Onixes become Steelixes naturally. It hints at the fact that in many cases, trainers need to manually simulate natural conditions to kind of trick their Pokemon into evolving, and that's kind of getting into like genetic engineering type of stuff, which is I think a topic for a whole other video. Okay, moving on to Drifloon. Now this entry says that Drifloon is formed by the spirits of people and Pokemon. So it's a balloon filled with ghosts of people. Okay, that's pretty weird. Maybe let's read some more Pokedex entries and they'll maybe explain it, make it seem less weird. Any child who mistakes Drifloon for a balloon and holds it could end up going missing? What? They're probably not doing it on purpose though. Whenever we see Drifloon, they're just kind of aimlessly kind of floating in the wind. It's not like they're trying to steal children intentionally. Let's read another entry. It tugs on the hands of children to steal them away. Oh. So Drifloon is a balloon filled with the ghosts of people that intentionally steals children. That's all I've got for this video, but there's lots of other Pokedex entries that I want to analyze in the future, so please click like if you enjoyed this type of video and I'll make more in the future. Goodbye, my friend.